Hi guys, I last month introduced Lenormand readings for February, March, and this month I'm going to do March and April for Gypsy. Some believe that Gypsy cards are actually the evolution of Lenormand cards. There are actually 52 cards in a deck versus 36 in regular Lenormand deck. So I'm going to do the grand tableau with all the cards on the table, where it's going to give us a whole bunch of situation and kind of possibilities. And it could be your story. It doesn't have to be your story because the energies are here from everybody who are actually viewing. So just keep in mind that the cards have their individual meanings, but interpretation of the cards in this big spread requires a deep understanding of how adjacent or associated cards influence the interpretation. Also, guys, take advantage of the two promotions, annual Taroscopes and right now it's a great time. They're right now on sale. So you're getting one sign for $10 and all signs for 20. So you can check somebody else, or you can check your ascendant and Venus sign and Mars sign. So this is a great opportunity. But the best part of my special is my speed up promotion. So you are not waiting 3 weeks anymore for the readings. So I'm actually upgrading whatever the term was before. So 3 weeks is now 1 week. So becoming a rush reading. And the rush reading, which was week, is now 3 days. And if you really want an urgent reading, you're going to get it within 24 hours. And if you're North America, most likely the same day. So guys, check my website www.cattarot.ca for more information. You can also find me on Instagram and on Facebook, where I actually also publish daily Taroscopes. So let's jump in. Hello Pisces, and welcome to your March-April reading. So Gypsy is more about emotions. Lenormand is more about situations. So you can see what's coming your way. Here you can sort of like also see what's coming your way versus action-wise, emotion-wise. So let me just tell you, we have few significators in Gypsy: lover, lord, sweetheart, the wife, enemy, and foe. All of them, forget about the gender, because this is a general reading. Also guys, let me just tell you, this is a general reading. This can apply to you, but it doesn't have to. For me to really look in your energy, please contact me for your private reading and tell me that you want me to use Gypsy in that reading. So let's start. I'm going to give you a few storylines, and either or can be used. So if you're, let's say, sweetheart, maybe the lover is your counterpart or the person you're asking about, and so on and so forth. But it can be the vice versa. You could be the lover even if you're female. And I know I'm repeating this all the time, but just for the new people on the channel. So what do I see? I see that some of you are definitely waiting for some kind of communication. There is maybe a sense of pride in the situation where maybe some of you don't want to be the first one to approach, but nonetheless you're still sitting and waiting and trying to figure like this person out. Some of you are going through the friends and acquaintances, kind of like trying to either fish the information, and some of you are also pretending to be very happy, you know, kind of like a reverse psychology where, oh, I'm so fine, etc., etc. It actually kind of works in dating, I have to admit. Now, the very interesting thing here is that I see a very convoluted situation over here. Somebody who is taken is more than willing to play the field. The problem is that the person that this person wants could be one of those shining stars in the whole thing, right? You see, we have the Lord, we have the friend. This person is definitely there for them. However, this person really kind of like relies so much on this person. But this person also might have their own self-interest in this whole situation, or maybe knows the other party. So it's kind of like really difficult for them to kind of like step in and help fully. I also think that this person is actually very interested in this situation, but this person is not, let's call it, returning the emotions, or simply does not want to step in. Interestingly enough, you see we have the Lord knighting the priest over here. And by the way, I'm sort of like looking at the cards all upright. Of course, I place them down on the table as they come, because it's just like too much work flipping over all the cards. But because it's a general reading, I'm sort of like looking the upright situation. Now, I almost like feel that even 2 or 3 couples that are intermingled here. So it could be that 2 guys are kind of oriented to the same person. One guy is definitely playing the field himself, but he's also very jealous about the partner playing the field behind his or her back. This is kind of like a really stagnant, stuck energy, because look at here, we have this butterfly, this lightness being, it's kind of falling down, and we know when the butterfly falls down, they cannot, if you touch their like really sensitive wings, they actually die, right? Because we also have the hope here that sort of like is really kind of like hope has left the building, sort of a thing. Not only the White House, but the building as well. Talking about the White House, we have the Prison card here. Well, I'm just kidding. So it is kind of very interesting, because I see one person who's completely clueless. One of these participants just simply kind of like is happy-go-lucky without understanding all these kind of machinations behind, let's say, the closed doors. What I also see that one person actually does want to divorce, or does want to get out of the relationship, because look at this. We have this thing here, and I don't know, the pen rather. We have the priest, it's knighting the priest, and we also have knighting the prison. So they are not, and the wedding. So everything is like really kind of like putting together, and they're really relying on someone to help them. You know, almost like, sounds to me like a divorce, that not only that the unit is going through turbulence, but everybody around them goes through the same, because you know how it is a tier by association. Hey, you're my friend, you stay my friend, and sort of like that kind of sharing. Other people don't necessarily feel the same. They may have taken a liking of your girlfriend, or of your boyfriend, or of your husband, and of course you are the one who is scorned, and you feel that you want to talk about it. And I kind of like see here people really not willing to take sides, and it's kind of sad, because some of you really need to feel that you have that soft place to fall, that soft landing, which is not happening. I also see this like huge element of whole bunch of people everywhere, because look at this. We have lover, we have enemy, we have friend, then we have like this celebration reversed, you know, somebody being really depressed over this whole situation and hoping for the best, but kind of like knowing, hey, there is no love here, there is no loyalty. It seems to be like a willingness to stay around just for the kids. And that's not enough glue anymore in this situation. So quite a few of you may go through kind of like 2 very interesting months, where frankly in Mercury retrograde, when we enter it around the 21st of March, it's going to kind of go downhill. Like everything is like sort of like bubble up on the surface, and everybody will be waiting for everybody, because look at this, we have sites here, and then we have waiting. So one woman is like waiting for this person on this shore, another one on this shore. So this card also is a card that's called Belvedere in a Vera Sibilla deck, and it usually shows her with monocular, right, but sort of like pointed at her, realizing that she's very myopic in how she actually looks at the situation, and the situation has to be sort of like attended better. So look at this: three people, desperation, somebody renegotiating the deal, somebody realizing that the whole tendency was sort of false. And in the end, there is like this feeling of being stuck. And Mercury retrograde generally brings to the surface issues that that kind of have to do something with the past. So Mercury retrograde is very good to kind of like putting the finishing touches on everything that has been. And this is something to look forward to. And I do see that some of you are really entering this period of trying to clarify situations. If we are talking about child support, spousal support, you have been waiting for some kind of responses. And it looks like you were trying to open this conversation and you have been like, shuffled aside. And it seems to be very stressful. Looks like everything is rotating around like this one person who is just like simply not paying attention for everybody else. And a person who is really trying to come through as a friend. It is kind of really unfortunate, this person who is really trying to, or maybe you are that friend, or you kind of like really want to give the shoulder to someone and just hear them out. It kind of like, as it usually is, you know how they say, no good deed goes unpunished. This person is simply not capable of absorbing all that energies right now. This person is literally feeling, oh my gosh, why I'm being placed in the situation, and now I just really feel responsible about that. So be very careful if you're involving other people in a situation. I would really say ask them for their comfort zone to how far that can actually work in the situation. Now Mercury retrograde, when we really hit it in, it's going to look like it's kind of interesting. We have also merchant, like somebody coming up with this new idea, somebody waiting for something, but it should be this way first and then decide after. I do see that just the period itself, so that will be sort of like end of the March until mid of April, it's going to be lots of repositioning, but finally the things from the past will start to resurface. I see the letter, I see the communication arriving, and you might not like what you read, but you will actually think a little bit differently. You'll start with creative solutions. If you're waiting to hear from somebody and you really hope, oh, he's going to come back to me or she's going to get in touch with me, they might. But it might be in a completely different form than what you expect. And instead of like having a knee-jerk reaction, which some of you might have, I have to say, some of you might just come out and just like go nuts, get crazy, maybe get drunk, and just be careful not to drink and drive, because the prison card is kind of like right here on the ground over here, and it's right next to no hope. So if you guys do something silly or something foolish, it's not going to end well. Luckily, from what I see, that many of you are actually not going to do that. You have the thought over here and the doctor. So you're going to take this whole circumstances in account. Here we have another significant young lady who probably is the very same person that we saw over here, who somehow is saying, oh, wait a minute, how come that my life is now a disaster? Because look what we have here. We have the death card over here, we have young lady, and we have misfortune. And then again, we have a foe. So some friends that you think they were friends will turn into foe. Why? Simply because they are not capable of dealing with the situation. Look, they are actually all of a sudden their life is turning into a nightmare. They have this misfortune, then nothing good is happening to them. They're feeling worn out. They're feeling, okay, why am I feeling I'm participating in the situation? A thief. They feel their resources are taken. If this is you, be very, very careful to be in a situation, because honestly, look at this. All of these cards, other than thought, are basically the kind of sinister cards. You really, really have to watch it. The key over here is to kind of like really look for help, really ground yourself. You don't give, you know, there's this card in tarot, give and take. Do not give more than you have left for yourself. Self-nourishment is the key. There are a few of you who are represented in this card, wife, and that can be a wife, that can be a single person, that can be a single man, as I said. For a few of you, there will be a reunion. For a few of you, that waiting is not going to be in vain, right? For a few of you, maybe you will, it's kind of interesting because this waiting that I said is kind of like in vain, but this one here is active waiting. Merchant is the one who in today's basically times would be a businessman, would be somebody who actively looks for solutions. Looks like somebody is maybe asking for help. There is a doctor, could be counseling that it might kind of like take place where all these other people will kind of like resurface, but they'll be placed to rest. I do see, you know, here it shows the widower reversed next to the foe. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be discussion about what took place, who are these people. I really want to know everything. So be ready to be very transparent, because it looks like many of you will ask for huge transparency from the others. In this particular case, some of you will actually reunite. Some of you will even move back in together, because I have a feeling that some of you actually even separated with where you lived, and it kind of like really felt like a loss and feel like, you know, a big void. So those of you who either are willing to go into some active exchange, and this might be formal things such as in therapist's office, that can be very informal thing where this friend was a catalyst to the situation. It is unfortunate, but that friend is going to be bye-bye friend, because it looks like that both of you in the end, as it usually turns out to be, will just decided to eliminate that, and they'll feel really, really guilty about that. So this is the only thing that kind of like makes me sad in this reading. So I really hope you prevent that from happening, and instead that, you know, you really focus on things you can do. And I would say, and I would recommend this 2 next months to be, try to get above your lonely feelings. Try to focus to be the best you can be. Yeah, I know you cannot help if you long for someone. I get that, but try to be stronger and not to lean and transfer everything on somebody else. The world can be nice, and I think the world will be nice. So even if you guys going through divorce, it is in your best interest to actually keep it civil. So it would be great to hear your comments. And again, guys, this is a general reading. To get your private reading, please contact me via www.cattarot.ca, and we can just go from there. I love you very much, and I'm looking forward to talking to you soon. Bye.